what's your emergency? 911, what's your emergency?
Be advised, Car 4 has control of the pursuit. Proceed with caution.
Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome everybody that was over on Frank Meister's channel. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hey 63 Clocks. Hi CJK. So good to see you. Hey Mama Wolverine. Hi Olivia too. Hey Jinx. Thank you. Hey Rescue. How are you? Hey Lynn, good to see you, my dear. Hey Jill, how are you? I saw you were over on Sleuth's channel today. Yeah, please don't forget the prayer walk for Abby and Libby, you guys, October the 13th at 1:30 at 1600 Old Camden Road in Delphi. That's the Freedom Bridge parking lot. Hey, Linda Harters. That's me, my dear. I do speak my mind. Sometimes to my detriment. People don't like it. They don't like people that are real and give you their 2 cents. They don't. Some people, I should say. Hey, Tech Death, how are you, my dear? So good to see you and have you with me. Hey, Cecil, good to know that you were there. I'm glad that you watched that. I was so tired when I filmed that. Hey, TLS, thanks for being here. Hey, Mustang, how are you? Hey, Susie. Hi, Purple Haze. It's always good to have you guys here with me. Tonight I thought what I was going to do, I happened to watch I watched the new judge in the Brian Koberger case. It was switched to Boise, Idaho, and it has a new judge, the case. So John Judge was the judge, and he is no longer the judge. And hey, Cindy, how are you? And I am here to tell you that it is really interesting to me. This guy is no holes barred kind of judge. He came right out of the draw shooting. They had a status hearing, which we just had in the Delphi case, if you remember. And everybody was kind of wondering, what's a status hearing all about? What's that all about? Well, he basically laid down the law and told both sides how things were going to work in his courtroom and how things were going to work in the trial. And what I thought was interesting was he told them, look, you're all professionals here. You will treat each other, both sides, with respect, as well as the court. And when he's speaking of the court, he's speaking of himself and everyone in it, the bailiffs, the court reporters and any staff, whatever. And he was talking about the fact that these attorneys, he's speaking to the prosecution and the defense teams, that they took an oath to the court as well as an oath when they joined the Bar Association, and which they do. They do take an oath. And so he basically just reminded them of that and how they should be behaving and what they're supposed to be doing, and the fact that he's not going to put up with any antics from either side. And for 10 minutes, he basically went over his rules, and he talked about motions. He talked about basically frivolous motions and how they're not going to be able to manipulate the court with motions. I thought it was amazing. And what I got out of it was, this is no different than what's going on in any other courtroom in the country. When you're talking about these high profile cases, everybody thinks, oh, this has never happened before. Judge Gall's being so unfair. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know how to run a courtroom. Are you kidding me? So that's kind of what I got from this. And that is what I wanted to bring about. I wanted to talk about that, because when I saw that, the first thing I thought about was Judge Gall. I mean, he even went on to start, he even talked about the ad hominem. He even talked about that. And, it's ad hominem, for those of you that don't know what it means, it's where people attack each other and make it personal. And it refers to several types of arguments that are fallacious. Often nowadays, the term refers to a rhetorical strategy where the speaker attacks the character, motive, or some other attribute of the person making an argument rather than the substance of the argument itself. And I'm just going to throw this out here because I heard it today, and to me it's a perfect example, because we have such politics is going on, and there's so much going on in the political landscape right now. Vice President Kamala Harris visited the border, and former President Trump came out and was angry because she did that. And instead of addressing the issue of her, why she was there and whatever, he came out and said that she's mentally unstable. So he attacked her personally. That is an ad hominem. He was attacking her character, rather than making an argument about the substance of whatever it is that he was angry about with her. So like in a way that is directed against a person rather than the position that they're maintaining. You see that a lot in this case, where people will start talking about what they believe or don't believe, and then people in the chats or whatever will just go, or discords will just go off on you and start calling you every name in the book. I was on a live with Frank Meister on Marv's channel, where somebody in their chat called me a fascist. I laughed my ass off over that because obviously this person has no idea what a fascist is. I'm the farthest thing from a fascist that you can get. So I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, I just thought it was really interesting and kind of funny that the judge in this case was bringing up things that we've been talking about in the Delphi case for a while, as far as, you know, how these attorneys disrespect the court and how they have disrespected. Sorry guys, I'm looking for my scissors, and naturally when I need them, I can't find them. So give me a second. Okay. So anyway, I just thought that was very interesting. And, you know, we need to expect anything, but I think that Judge Gall is going to keep her courtroom under control. She's not going to let this become a circus. And we talked about the number of seats in the courtroom in Carroll County. And there's just not that many, you guys. You know? We talked about that since we knew that the case was not going to be moved and that it was going to actually be in Carroll County. I mean, it's a small courtroom. Frank's been in it. Jinx has been in it. Rescue's been in it. Aspen's been in it. They've all been in it, and they know how small it is. And you got to stop and think about it. Who deserves to be there more than anyone? The families do. The families deserve to be there. And I know there's going to be a lot of family members that want to attend the trial, and they may be extended family members. They may not be immediate family. But again, family members are family members. They have a direct stake in the case, not us. And I get that people believe, like, you know, we need to have a place. I mean, the public needs to be able to have a place. I get that. But that's my point, is if it gets to be to where there's so many people, then have an overflow courtroom and put a camera in there. That was my, and that would be for the media and the general public. So I don't know what they're going to do. if that happens. But anybody that wants to see this trial, they better get there early, because there's not going to be that many seats for the public. And for that matter, there's not going to be that many seats for the media. Stop and think of the media. There's going to be national media, the state and local media, regional media. There's going to be a lot of media that wants in on this. And they're not going to get it. There's no way that she's going to allow all that. So I hope Susan makes it. I want her there covering this case. Yeah, Olivia, they didn't, and I don't think they said she didn't say the exact number, but she said whatever was left over after the ones that she allotted. Yeah, Robin, I am too. I'm glad to have her as well. Has she made mistakes in this case? Yes. I do believe that she made the biggest mistake that she could have with the defense when she allowed them in her chambers. She should have shushed them right out of the chambers and sent them into open court for that hearing that day, and gave them the hearing that they said they never got, and kicked their butts off of the case right there in front of Richard Allen. I think that would have been the best thing that she could have done. I'm sad that she didn't do it, and I think that she probably regrets that now. But, you know, hindsight's 20/20, and she can't go back and fix that. But otherwise, I think she's done a really good job. One of the other things the judge in the Koberger case was talking about was the response to things, and that he was not your normal judge. He responds quickly, and there won't be any of these delays in motions. So I thought that was interesting. He was giving them a heads up with time frame. And he's usually quicker than the 14 days allotted by law. Again, letting them know you're not going to be able to play those games with me. You know? We've got 2 weeks from today. It's going to be interesting to see how jury selection goes. I'm just ready for them to get the jury seated. I feel for those jurors. I would not want to be on this jury. Absolutely would not want to be on this jury. I would like to see the jury questionnaire, though. I talked to you guys a month or so ago about jury selection and how jury selection works, and how both sides usually have an expert on jury selection, and they know exactly what kinds of questions to ask jurors, prospective jurors. They look for certain things. They will dismiss people for no reason. They get so many denials, like the state will object, and they'll be able to object, and they won't have to give a reason. They can just say, we don't want this juror. So, you know, it's it'll be really interesting to see what the makeup of the jury ends up being, and how many men, how many women, and what the dynamic of the jury is. How many professionals versus blue collar. We're coming from Allen County, so we have a much bigger jury pool to choose from, but it would be really interesting. Yeah, CJK, that's how it works here. Same kind of thing. I've been called twice on and seated once, and then I was on the grand jury, and I was on the grand jury for 3 months, and we met once a week, and we went all day. We heard multiple cases, multiple cases. And it was only one-sided. We only heard from the prosecution. And here in Illinois, we have a district attorney. And the district attorney is who presented the cases to the grand jury. So, yeah. So it'll be really interesting, like I said, to see what happens. And yeah, Mustang, same here. I mean, none of us want a delay, and I can't imagine that Judge Gull is going to allow anything unless something major was to happen now. But they absolutely will make I think she's pretty confident. She's been, like I said, Judge Gull, this isn't her first day on the block. She's done many trials. She's done many death penalty cases. This is not a death penalty case, but she's done many, and she knows how it works. And I believe that she thinks they will have a jury seated by the end of day on the 16th. Based on what the decorum order states. And so the prosecution came out, Nick McLeland came out and said, we don't want a jury visiting the crime scene. That was interesting. Frank and I called that. We said they weren't going to want that to happen, because when you don't have a jury seated, how can you rule on that? I mean, what if somebody gets hurt? You know? It's Jennifer, it's not a death penalty case because Nick McLeland has not made it one. He has not sought to seek the death penalty as a penalty in this case. It doesn't mean that he won't. I think it might be too late for him to do it now. I do believe that he will be facing life in prison without the possibility of parole, is what I think Richard Allen will be looking at, actually. But yeah, that's why. And I just think I don't think it has anything to do with not enough evidence. I think there's plenty of evidence to do this. But I think the reason that he's not trying to seek it is because the law in Indiana is extremely clear. If you participate in a kidnapping where the individuals become unalived, you can receive the death penalty. This case is a death penalty case. But I've said all along that, and I guarantee you, the people that investigated this case wanted that. When you see what they saw in the woods that day and what this person did to these two beautiful souls, these little kids that just had the word in the beginning of their lives, basically, who had so much hope and so much potential. When you see that and you know that this was purposely done to them, horrifically done to them, I guarantee you they were thinking death penalty. And that in itself is a hot topic, because there's so many people today in this day and age that are against the death penalty because innocent people have been put to death in this country. But it is where we are. Hang on a second, guys. I'm getting a text. I just need to read this real quick. I just, like I said, you just really have to take a look at the whole case. And if they can prove that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy, then they know for a fact that Bridge Guy is the one who took them off the bridge and kidnapped them. And whatever happens by the law after that, he's responsible for their death. Now, in my mind, he unalived them. He did this crime. I don't believe that there's anybody else that was waiting for him. I don't believe anybody else helped him. I believe he is the guy. And I also think that we're going to find that out in court in 2 weeks, because when Nick McLeland gives his opening statement, he's going to lay it out for us. He's going to tell us exactly what transpired. And he's going to tell us why the prosecution believes that Richard Allen is the man who did this. And all the questions that people have had for the last 7 years are going to be answered. People are going to ask questions. And hey, Shadowbox, how are you? You're never late. You're never late. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you are well. I was just thinking about you. I was using some of the shower soap, and I was thinking about you. I was like, oh, I need some more. I need some more soap. Hey, Nana, thank you so much for your super sticker. I so appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting this live stream. Hey, Purple Haze, thank you so much. But yeah, you guys, there's just a lot that we've been waiting for. And I know that. I get that, I know that we have been waiting and waiting, it seems like, for ages to find out some of these questions. We just need to be patient, because it's coming and it's going to happen. And like I said before, if you think it's frustrating for all of us, you guys, think about Abby and Libby's family. Think about Becky and Mike and the fact that what they go through on a daily basis and what they want to know. And their biggest question in their hearts, I know, is why? Why their girls? Why that day? Why did you do this? And nothing that Richard Allen can say will ever be enough, because there is no why that makes any sense. Oh my God, that's so funny, Shadow. That's hilarious. And that's hilarious. Did you tell Sleuth that? I bet he thought that was funny. That is. Well, Nana, I love you guys too. And I love all of your support. I think we're going to hear the case in a whole. I think we're going to find out everything that we need to know. We're going to hear all the evidence. And if you listen to the right places to find your facts, you'll hear the facts of the case. Make sure you're doing that so that you're not just piggybacking off of somebody that you know is going to skew what's happening in the courtroom. We don't want that. We want to know exactly what's going on. That's why I want Frank Meister in there, and I want Susan Hendricks in there. I mean, that's just my choices, you know. Rescue as well. She is such a great note taker. And Jinx as well. All of them. But, you know, like I said, we can't get all of our peeps in there. There's only a very, very few seats. So how are we going to do that, you know? But, you know, when I think about it and I think about Susan, as far as media goes, you know, she'll get media credentials of the media. That's who I want there, because Susan is got all of the right things that a journalist needs to have. She's objective, and she is absolutely the person I'm going to go to say what happened, what went on that day. And that's if Frank and those guys can't get seats. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with that yet, because there's so many people that want to be there. And you know they're going to all be in line, and it's really crazy. And so if they can't be, then I know Susan will be, and she will be covering it, and she will give us what we need to know. And yes, I feel that I will try and do a summation each day of the trial to the best of my ability. If I have somebody who's able to give me what happened, I will plan to do live streams. If I can go live and actually have them on my channel to where you can hear it out of their mouths, then I will. I'm not going to live stream the whole time like Frank and I did that one day. I won't do, or on Frank's channel like Ruckus and I did. I'm not going to do that. But I want to do a summation kind of thing. Hey, Scarlet Letter, how are you? I want to make sure that my community is getting the facts of what's happening each day in the trial. That's real important to me. And they can be assured that what they hear from me or what they are getting fed from me and from Frank or Susan is the real deal. I don't want them worrying about hearing stuff and not knowing whether or not it's true. Oh my God, it was a 12-hour live. We were on that. It was great though. I had so much fun with Ruckus that day. Seriously, you talk about somebody who I play well off of is Ruckus. You know, he makes me laugh. He's so fun. He's so knowledgeable. And I thought it was great. And we talked about everything. Kristen or Tech Death, we need to get him to 500 subs. Come on, guys. He's only 14 away from it. So send out his info to your friends, get them to subscribe to Tech Desk channel. Great music. Hey, Laura Alvarado, thank you so much for being there and listening to Ruckus that day. We talk about it often and how we just didn't know what we were going to talk about and how it just came natural for us. We just talked about everything under the sun. We even talked about my spiders. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, Tech Desk does lessons, you guys. Anybody that wants to do online guitar lessons needs to hit him up because he is the real deal when it comes to music. And if you are looking for lessons or you know somebody who's looking for lessons, you need to hit up Tech Desk. And again, I feel so much in tune with 63 Clocks with what she just said. Life is too short to waste time watching some of this stuff when it's all bullshit. I don't know how much is out there anymore because I stopped following it. I don't watch these people anymore. I haven't seen a murder sheet episode in months and months. I haven't looked at any of the crazy Delphi streets, any of that stuff. I watched Sleuth this morning while I was cleaning because I saw he was on for a while and I needed something to listen to. I like Sleuth a lot. I respect him. And so I watched him. But I'm here to tell you, I don't have that kind of time, you guys. I just don't have that kind of time to sit down and watch and listen to all this stuff. I am way, way too busy. And now that I have a new puppy in my life, I have a lot of my energy goes into him. It's like having a child. He's on a schedule. So, I mean, it's just like, we have our walks, we have our meals, we have our playtime, it's just crazy. And then I have to work out on top of that. And, by the time I'm busy with my grandchildren, my middle boy just had the one who plays football. It was homecoming this past weekend, which is why I wasn't around for the lives that Frank was doing, but it was his homecoming. So we had homecoming football game on Friday night. He had homecoming and the dance on Saturday. So we had all the pictures and all this stuff, and it was just a really big weekend. This weekend we have a huge festival locally that I'm going to be going to with Loki. So I'm just like, there's just so much, you guys. I'm just really trying to balance it. And for those of you that watch YouTube on a regular and you guys find channels that you love, I get how much you miss the people, because there are people I watch on YouTube that have nothing to do with true crime that I love and I want to see them. And when I go to see if they have new content and they don't, I'm bummed. So I totally understand, you guys, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to do better with that with my content, but I just really, really need to do better at trying to be live more often than I am. And I do. But part of the problem is Frank and I made a pact with each other, basically, that we were not going to go live just to go live. We weren't going to just create something to talk about if there really wasn't anything to talk about with Delphi. I didn't feel that it was fair to the case. I didn't think it was fair to the girls. I wanted everybody to understand that this case is important. It's not just entertainment, you guys. It's not. We have spent a lot of years together, a lot of years together, days of the week, an hour or two at a time. We've come to talk about this. It's become part of who we all are when it comes to Delphi. The community has a stake in it, they feel. But one of the things that I want to always remind everyone is that, we really don't have a stake in this. We're here to tell you about a case and follow a case and give you information on what's happening in it. But these aren't our girls. They're not. This isn't about us. This isn't about YouTubers. This isn't about what's going on YouTube and who's attacking who this week and who's writing this crap about this content creator and who's doing this. It's not. It's just not. This is about Abby and Libby and what happened to them that day, and that the person who did this needs to pay. And I have been waiting for this day for a very long time, right along with you. And there was a point in this case where I didn't know if we'd get here. I honestly didn't know if we would get here. And I am so glad we are. And I really, really do believe we have the right person. I really, really do believe that law enforcement is going to lay it out for us and explain to us why. And, for everyone out there that still thinks that Bridge Guy's somebody else, all I can say is pull your head out of the frickin' sand, because I don't know what reality we're in here, but we're obviously not in the same reality. And, I saw that 63 clocks when Sleuth was talking about that today. I saw his poll that he had on whether or not Richard Allen will change his plea to guilty before the trial starts or sometime after the trial starts. It's always a possibility, but right now I don't see it happening. I really believe these attorneys want this day in court for whatever reason. They're crazy. But they really think that they've got something that they're going to be able to use or say that'll sway the jury, or at least sway one juror. And again, we've said it before, that is all they need is one juror, and then they have a hung jury. And then they have to retry Richard Allen. Oh yeah, the people that believe the families are making money off this case are complete idiots. And I'll put it out there. They have not any sense in their frickin' brain if they think that. They weren't the ones out there asking the public for money. Richard Allen was, for tune of 40 grand, by what I understand. The money that the families asked for was to build a memorial ballpark as a legacy for their girls. And let me tell you guys, that place is amazing. To be out in the middle of the country and you're just driving along in all this farmland, and all of a sudden here's this ball field, and and the area that you can play music and take a blanket and sit with your family and listen to great music, or see a car show, or whatever other fun things that they do out there at the park. It's just an amazing thing. And Abby and Libby are looking down on it and thanking their families, saying they couldn't have done anything better as a legacy to two girls who love sports. They will, that that area will be used for generations to come. And what's amazing about that place right now, the only reason it is up and running is because of the Abby and Libby Foundation. If it wasn't for that foundation, it wouldn't be working. So no, the families aren't making money off of it. The families are the ones that's keeping it going. They're the ones working it. They're the ones that do all the concessions. Abby's grandmother plants all the flowers every year. I mean, they needed that place to help. I think it helped the community. Jinx is right. It helped them to heal a little bit. And it gave them a place they could go to remember, and to remember good times with the girls, and to be busy, and something that they could do to feel like they were doing something for the girls. And that ballpark is, like I said, is absolutely amazing. And I went there, and that's where I met Becky at. She had been working there at the concession stand that day. And so I was able to meet with her. And like I said, she's there working the concessions, doing all this stuff. Mike's out grading the parking lot. I mean, that's what he was doing when I was there. So, I mean, like I said, these girls' families are what keeps this place going. So it's just, like I said, it's an amazing place, and I'm thrilled that they have it, and that they were able to build it. And like I said, and it's being utilized. I mean, it's being utilized by kids, and that's what Abby and Libby would have wanted. But yeah, I know that there's people out there that are saying cruel and horrible things still, not only about the family and everything else, but you know what, you guys, don't watch them. Just steer clear of that stuff. Don't bring that into your universe. It'll make you deal better with this case and with everything if you try not to get involved in all the drama. And it'll be interesting to see what happens at the conclusion of this case and the conclusion of this trial. If Richard Allen is found guilty, what some of these people are going to do with their lives afterwards, after the fact. Are they going to slither away and crawl into the next case? Or are they going to continue to pound the Delphi streets with bullshit and crap? I mean, CJK is right. In cases like this, donations come in from around the world. Some create scholarships, foundations to do good things. The families did an amazing thing. So many used that lovely ballpark. Yes, absolutely. And Frank Meister says the families have to pay for concession food, drinks, etc. out of their own pocket. They keep those concessions running. And it's like I said, that's a lot of work, you guys. A lot of work. Just a weekend of softball. Stop and think of all the teams, all the spectators, and feeding them all, and assuring that they all have, something to, cold to drink and eat, and all of that. It's a lot. Yes, Cindy is absolutely right. The more attention that we give to haters, the more views they get. And I've said it before, they love the negative press as much as they love the positive. Don't give it to them. Absolutely. Yay. Tech deficit 503. Awesome. 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 Thank you, everyone who got him to 500. Absolutely. Now the next step is 1,000. The little girl that fell down that pipe decades ago, Jessica, her parents used it for things of personal nature and then faced condemnation for it. Absolutely. You know, people, there's all kinds of stuff that people do. And I'm not one to judge families when they're going through horrific things. I just won't. I've gone through horrific things. I know what that's like. And especially when it's in a big way where you're being watched by the media and everybody's reporting on you and your family and they're talking to you, you know, and the whole time all you're focused on is your sick child and how are you going to get him through this night. How's he going to survive until tomorrow? And that's all you're really wanting, and that's all you're really worrying about. But you've got all these people knowing that money's being collected for you in a very large scale way, and donations are coming in, and what's the family doing with it? You know, I mean, at a point you just get so overwhelmed with everything. I just want everybody to know to judge gently. Judge gently. I know you guys have heard it. Unless you've walked in their shoes, it's really hard to judge people. And I think if we judge, my mom used to always tell me, Kristen, judge gently, because you never know when you might be in that situation that you're judging. And she's right. And I think if we all as a society would judge gentler, we'd all be better off for it. But yeah, one of the things that I don't allow in my chat is attacks of the family or attacks of each other. My moderators are amazing, every single one of them, and they won't put up with it. We do not talk about other creators, no matter how bad they are, because we all know they're out there. But we just don't do that because we don't have time here. And that's another thing, CJK. A lot of people give donations with strings. And I love what you said here. When you donate, it should come from the heart with no stipulations. Donating should be more about you and not about what you're donating to or who you're donating to. And what I mean by that is this. How many of us see on a daily basis the people that are actually standing out on the street corner holding signs that they will work for food, or they will do this, or they will do that? God help me, because they're homeless. How many people have you heard say that person's not homeless? He's just standing out there with a sign to collect money because he doesn't want to work. He's lazy. Really? How do you know that? How do you know that? Are you in his shoes? Does it matter? If you give him an extra $10 that's in your pocket that you were going to spend at McDonald's or wherever, does it make you feel better that you gave to someone to try to help them out? To me, it does. It's not about what he does with that $10 that I gave him. It's about the fact of what it made me feel like in doing it and helping him or her and giving to them. And I know that there's people out there that don't believe that. They're like, you give them money and they may go down the street, you know, and buy a bottle of booze, or they may go place a bet or whatever. And my whole feeling is, it is not for me to judge them. What it is for me is to open my heart and help if I can. And that's what I try to do. Hey, Mitzi. Oh my God, you are so right. Love always wins, and we should be a light for others. She's been a member of my channel for 16 months, you guys. Mitzi, thank you so much for always, always supporting Behind the Crime Door. You are one of the OGs, and I am so happy to have you here. Thank you so, so much. CJK says, I have a true story. Listening to Love Clove, a pastor driving by, saw a guy with a sign. Car broke down and needed some cash. Wife was in the hospital. He drove by, turned around, and spoke to the guy. And Jill, you do not suck at being a mod. Yes. My OG mod is Tech Death Hippie's been with me since day one. Since day one, when I opened my channel, he's been here. So, yeah. Yes, he has. And Cindy, you are right. He is amazing, and we are blessed to have him. Think the guy was telling the truth. Guy was driving through town with his wife. The pastor took the guy to the hospital, and sure enough, his wife was in the hospital and his car broke down. And see, that's the thing. I mean, you know, some of us don't need to have that to know. We just give because giving, the giving part is how it makes us feel. So, hold on a second. So if it's boring, why don't we just make sure you don't come back? There we go. So yeah, you know, it's just, that's my take on it, you guys. And Cindy, thank you. I feel that you guys are the best. I have always said, and I don't mean this to sound flippant or whatever, but I have a really wonderful community here. You guys have built it. You guys come and you demand certain things as much as I do. You guys are here for the reasons that I'm here. And, you know, you are the kind ones. Absolutely, Nana. Absolutely. Thanks, David. I have gotten so many compliments over Tech Death music over the years. So many. I've had some people tell me that they hated it and they wanted me to take it down. And I was like, you need to go to a different channel because it ain't coming down. And so, but I love our community that we've built here. It's absolutely fantastic. I couldn't do this channel without you. Delphi brought us together. Frank Meister, and I've discussed this. Tech Death and I had a long conversation about this just last week, about Abby and Libby's legacy of how they've brought so many people together that otherwise would never have met, and have made lifelong friends of those people. It's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it, you know? And and I worry about you guys. I said it before. If you guys are out there and you're in North Carolina or Georgia or Florida and you were somehow have been touched by the hurricane and you've been unable to, you know, make contact, please reach out to someone and let someone know that you're okay. Because there are people that we haven't heard from that we're worried about. So I just, you know, I don't know. I just worry about the people that are out there that have had such horrific things happen to them over the weekend. Asheville, North Carolina looks like a war zone. And whenever you have 13 to 15 inches of rain happen in the mountains, it's never a good thing. And my heart goes out to them. There are places where The towns are gone, they're saying, and they're also talking about upwards of 600 people still unaccounted for. So let's hope and pray that that they find these people and that they're out there somewhere. They're just not able to connect with anybody. I just can't get over it. And now they're saying that we're going to get another storm right on its heels, and that this one might even be stronger than the last one. And that is not something we need. But anyway, guys, that's all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed the live I had with Frank. If you have the chance to go watch the judge in the Idaho case, in the status hearing, it's on YouTube because it was live streamed. Go watch it. I talked to Ruckus this morning by phone, Shadowbox, and he's fine. And he was just in Frank Meister's live stream that I was on earlier. It's past Ruckus's bedtime, so Ruckus is in bed, I'm sure. He has a strict schedule. Steve will tell you, but Ruckus is okay. Him and his wife are fine. It was about 5 miles from them, wasn't fine, but he's fine, thank God. So, but he is extremely busy, and he's got a lot going on personally. And he's working on Evansdale. He's going to be up here seeing Drew real soon. So that case is going well. And I think there's like 3 cases that are really blowing up for Steve and him. Things are really starting to happen. And so they're just super, super busy. Super busy. But keep them in your prayers. And make sure that if you can donate to Ruckus or to Steve, that you guys do, because everything helps. Steve's foundation is the real deal, you guys. He's making real progress and doing big things. And I'm really, really proud to be associated with him and to be associated with his channel. Thank you, Purple Haze. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Hey, Mitzi. You are always welcome here, and you are so fine. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Everybody stay safe out there, and I will see you guys next month. And can you believe it's October already? I can't get over it, you guys. October. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys all very soon. And yes, please, justice for the Flora 4 angels. Absolutely. We absolutely need justice for the Flora 4. So thanks, guys. Good night, everybody.